On this episode of Cooking for Novices Quick Bites, Gyoza. The wonderful, delicious Asian food known as gyoza is also known as pot stickers in some places in America. It's great, it's delicious, and you can make it at home. Now, this particular gyoza, because it's a quick bite episode, is from pre-packaged gyoza. Yes, I know. I like making from scratch, and scratch is okay, definitely in this circumstance. However, pre-packaged is close enough and will get you there a lot faster. So, why don't you come along, follow us as we deviate from the standard cooking method and make soy-infused gyoza. So quick bites. It's about getting the max amount of flavor for the minimum amount of time invested. I thought I'd start with gyoza because while yes, you can do it from scratch, you can get them also available in a variety of prepared states, from frozen, uncooked, to defrosted like these, uncooked, to already cooked. Just needed to be reheated. So I'm going with this. If you have frozen, please go ahead and defrost them first, because if you cook something that's frozen, the inside's going to be cold, right? The outside's going to be burnt. That's just general rule of thumb. Now there's a standard recipe that a lot of the boxes, bags, whatever they come in will tell you to do, which is basically take your pan, put some oil at the bottom of the pan, let the gyoza cook in that for a minute or two, throw some water in, clamp on the top, and let it steam for another 5-10 minutes. That's fine, but there's a lot of ways we can add some additional flavor along the way. The first easy way to ramp up the flavor is to change out your oil. Now, you can use any high temp oil, but most high temp oils have no flavor. But if you take out your standard oil, replace it with, say, sesame, then you have a very nice thing indeed, because sesame oil, while still being a high temperature oil, it'll easily hit 400 degrees without a problem. It's also got a lot of flavor to it. It's a kind of smoky flavor if you've never had it before. It's great to add to this application because it matches well with the already Asian flavors we have with the gyoza, which a lot of people associate sesame oil with as Asian flavors. So always have this in your kitchen, because if you want to add a little bit extra something while cooking at high temps, it's great to have. Now we're going to keep the water, but in addition to the water, we're also going to use soy sauce. Now, soy sauce is the traditional side dish to gyoza. You put it in a little dish and you dip it in, and that's that. But I have a surprise for what we're going to do with the soy sauce in a little bit. So let's go ahead and start cooking, and I'll show you the process. So you can see we already have our setup going here. We have our lid, we have our stainless steel pan. Yes, you must use stainless steel. Teflon does not get hot enough, or does it create a nice golden brown delicious at the bottom of our gyoza. So you must use stainless steel in this particular application. If you want good yummy gyoza, that is, and that's the whole point of the show. So, speaking of gyoza, we have our gyoza, we have some water, we have our sesame oil, and our soy sauce. So let's go ahead and get started. The other thing you want to get is some sort of implement which will be able to allow you to handle the gyoza. Just remember the gyoza is very delicate, so don't be too rough with it. Anything will do, whatever you're most comfortable with, whatever you have. Just, as I said, gentle is the key here. So as you're heating up your pan, I'm going to go ahead and add some sesame oil, just enough to kind of coat the bottom. Now, until your pan's hot, it won't really thin out, but once the pan gets hotter, the oil will kind of spread out, so you don't need too much to get started here. Now I'm using a little bit more than, say, I would for 5, because if you're only making 5 of the gyoza instead of the whole 10, you wouldn't need to coat the whole bottom of the pan. But since we're making all 10, we're going ahead and use the whole thing. So just kind of swirl around your oil, and you can see that as you can see here, it's starting to kind of ripple already, and that's what you want. As soon as that starts, you want to go ahead and add your gyoza. And also make sure you manage your flame so that you don't go over too hot, over 400 degrees specifically. Now go ahead and open up your gyoza. Okay, my oven believes that it's at the right temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and add these. They already have some flour on them still, so if you still have flour on yours, knock it off a little bit before you put them in. And just start putting them in nice and neat. Make sure where you're putting them, there is plenty of oil, or they will stick to the bottom and you'll get a mess. See how they're sliding around? That's what you want. If you get started on this and you notice that you don't have enough oil at the bottom of your pan, go ahead, put a little bit more on, let that oil heat up, and then put more gyoza on. So what are we looking for here? We're looking for a few minutes, just like normal box method. In fact, this pretty much starts off just like that. Now, you can always flip them on either side if you like the whole gyoza crunchy, but do that after you're steaming, not before, because steam will get rid of the crunchy. So we're just cooking the bottom here a little bit just to get it going. So after about 2 minutes, you can see that the gyoza is now nice and brown and crunchy on the bottom. That's what we're looking for. Go ahead and put them back down. And then go ahead and add your water. You're looking to cover the bottom with, a couple millimeters of water. You're not trying to drown them, you're trying to steam them. So. You see I didn't use all my water. Be careful because there's oil there, it is going to start splattering. So add the water quick and put on your lids to protect yourself. Now you're going to let this go for about 5 to 10 minutes. Checking on it. You're looking for the to look kind of pasty because it is more or less like that. It's a dough. So check it after maybe 5 minutes, make sure, see how it's cooking, and then keep checking it until it's done. 6 minutes on my side has gone by, and my gyoza are looking pretty done. Careful of this steam, always lift the lid away from you. See, there's a little bit of water left, but the big thing here is that the gyoza will stick to the bottom. Be careful. Yeah, just put a little bit under there. Don't just try to pick them up. You gotta get them separated from the bottom first. All the gyoza has been separated from the bottom of the pan. So next up, if you want to go ahead and crunch all 3 sides, go right ahead. Just take your gyoza and lay them on the side like so. There should still be enough oil in the pan. If there's not, go ahead and add a little bit more. I personally like crunchy bottoms, soft sides. I think the contrast is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue on. Now, normally the recipes say you're done at this point. However, if you look at our pan, you can see there's all this nice little fond at the bottom. And the great thing to do with that is to deglaze the pan and get all that nice little bits off the bottom because they're delicious. Now, you could just add more water, but water doesn't have any flavor to it. What you're going to do, instead of having soy sauce as a side dish, is you're going to go ahead and infuse the soy sauce more or less into the gyoza by steaming it in. So take your soy sauce, just like so, and just kind of sprinkle liberally into the pan. Shake around a little bit. Flip it a few times. And that is all you need to do. Go ahead, plate. That's it. The other thing you can do, if you're presenting this to somebody, is you can go ahead and plate it off onto a separate plate and then lift them all nice and evenly onto the nice plates that you want to use. Again, I'm doing this for the quick, fun, delicious taste of it all, not because I'm making this thing pretty. Just how delicious is this gyoza? Well, let's find out, shall we? Perfect. Oh, that was good. So, again, no need to serve this with soy sauce as dipping sauce. It's already got it infused into the mass. Perfectly delicious, as is. If you want to throw some little fresh scallions on there, that would not be a bad thing. Me, I can't wait that long, so I just go ahead and eat it. Thank you for watching Cooking for Novices. This has been a Quick Bites. See you next time. Wish this was smell-o-vision because that is a wonderful, herbally, delicious smell. Now, you could buy something kind of like this at a make 'em